Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, portion of Elm Street in Manchester closed after serious crash. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Hampshire's realtors have been putting people and homes together since 1983. We're professionals who know the people and regions we serve, from the North Country to the Lakes region, and the Naknek region, the cities, and the seacoast.
Other news now breaking tonight. 2 people seriously hurt after a crash in the Queen City tonight, Manchester. WMUR's Jessica Moran is live in the Queen City with what we're learning right now. Jess, what can you tell us?
Well, Tom, the Manchester Fire Department tells us 2 people have suffered very serious injuries as a result of a motorcycle and SUV accident. The Manchester Accident Investigation Team is here on the scene now, taking a look at what happened at the intersection of Elm and West Auburn Street. Manchester police are asking people to avoid Elm Street from Old Granite to Market Basket. That entire section of Elm is closed down and is expected to be closed for a few hours. Again, 2 people suffering very serious injuries as a result of a motorcycle and SUV accident in Manchester. Live in Manchester, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man shot on Route 24 during rush hour commute. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
Escape completely in South County, Rhode Island. Relax on public beaches, perfect your golf swings, savor coastal cuisine, or hike miles of nature preserves. Request a free Southern Rhode Island vacation guide, 800-548-4662 or southcountyri.com.
He was shot as he was driving down the highway.
Signs of the rush hour highway shooting were evident. Shattered glass and 2 bullet holes that pierced through the passenger side door. State police taped around this Saturn view as investigators searched for what led to the shooting on busy Route 24. Skid marks lead from the center lane to where the car ended on the shoulder. The 44-year-old driver calling 911 around 6:20, saying he had been shot. A bloody rag found nearby used to stop the bleeding. Paramedics driving by brought him to the hospital after a Good Samaritan did her part. So you pulled over and you helped him?
Yep.
Did you say anything about it?
No, I didn't. He was on the phone.
She was one of 2 witnesses police interviewed as crime scene investigators took pictures, hoping to find what sparked the crime. And state police continue to search for whoever opened fire on the highway. Live in Brockton, Sean Chiab on WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Maine lobster industry hit hard by new tariffs. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Don't miss the Brandy Pond In-Water Boat Show at Moose Landing Marina, Naples, July 14th and 15th. More than 70 top brand boats, amazing deals, extended warranties, and low requirements. Brandy Pond In-Water Boat Show at Moose Landing Marina. Details at mooselandingmarina.com.
Yeah, those new Chinese tariffs were put in place in response to tariffs on Chinese goods that were put in place by President Trump. They effectively make Maine lobster about 25% more expensive once shipped to China. Now, Maine lobster dealers say that that's a market that they have relied on heavily in recent years, and they say now it's cutting them out of that market, which supported a lot of their business. They're raising concerns that these tariffs could have long-term effects considering the thousands of people who rely on this industry here in Maine. Tom Adams, the CEO of Maine Coast, says that they rely heavily on that market in the past few years.
About 20% of our business in 2017 and 16 was in China. And now, with just a few weeks' notice, we're being dramatically affected. Our sales to China have basically stopped in the last week.
Now, Tom says that he hopes that there will be a diplomatic solution to this issue. In the meantime, he says he's hoping that he won't have to lay off any employees, but they may reduce their hiring rate. And they're also turning some of their marketing attention to new areas, both domestically and abroad, to see if they can make up some of those sales. Live in York, Joe Glauber, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. China's economy reform is falling short and patience is growing thin, says report. China might be making some progress on its reform agenda, but a lack of more ambition changes will lead to an evaluation in existence tension buttling in the global economic system, a new report from the European Union Chamber of Commerce in China warned. Divers begin final push to rescue remaining boys. Coach in Thailand cave. The final push to bring home 4 boys and their soccer coach by a crew of international and Thai divers begin in earnest on Tuesday. Officials confirmed they had restarted the rescue efforts for the 3rd day at 10 a.m. local time or 11 p.m. Eastern Time the prior night. As with the previous rescue efforts, 19 divers have gone into the cave, with 2 divers escorting each of the boys out of the cave with tethers. Trump nominates Brett Kavanaugh to Supreme Court. President Donald Trump has announced U.S. Circuit Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh as his second Supreme Court justice pick less than 2 years into his presidency. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.